And guess the show has started.
Welcome back to the Football Amigos show. As always, is your boy Mide. We are back again. It has been an interesting game 4 week. Of course, it might be just another therapy session, amigos, but it sounds like I'm a broken record now. Just every week, it's like something wrong with the Manchester United. But we'll get to that. Before we start, amigos, welcome back. It's good to have you all. Of course, we have our trios here before we start jumping into some interesting conversations. Sam, how are you doing today, sir?
Very good. I'm wearing a black T-shirt for Man United.
Oh, let the banter begin. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, amigo Ayo, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. I couldn't find a black shirt, right? Because I knew we are observing a wake tonight, so I was,
Oh my
but
gosh,
I just had to show up
amigos.
respectful. But don't worry,
Uh,
you are in our thoughts and prayers.
oh gosh. What a season it's gonna be, amigos. Like, share, subscribe, let us know your comments as the banter begins slash therapy session from a Manchester United standpoint. We might as well just go ahead and start with that game. It was a game on Sunday against Manchester City. Manchester City wins at the Etihad 3-0. It wasn't a good performance from a United standpoint. We were toothless up front, defensive mistakes. Some players shouldn't be starting that game, and they did. Coach substitutions were not as effective as they should be. It just looked to me like every game plan they had that day just didn't play out. And Man City knew
You
what
sure they had a
Man
game
United were
plan?
going to do. It
No,
looked
I
like
think
they
they just
did.
had a formation. There's no game plan.
It looked like they did. And I say that because what we did do well, just kind of watching that game again, when we're in their defensive third, we actually pressed well. The shape was good. We actually won a lot of balls. We just couldn't recycle quick enough to get a goal. And every time we had a chance, Donnarumma, hence why you buy a world class goalkeeper and not necessarily sell the mistake of Onana and then buy a young player that's for the future. You buy a ready made goalkeeper. He comes in, makes his save, and the game's lost at that point. Bournemouth had a couple. I think he had about 4 shots. Donnarumma saved 3 of them. One of them was wide. So in attack, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. But in defense, that's where the issue happened. It's not just defense; it's also midfield as well. There's only so much you can do if you don't have actual midfielders. Ugati had a good game. I'll give him that. But Bruno is not a midfielder. He's just not. He's a 10. We can't keep playing him as a midfielder. He's not disciplined enough to play in that position, no matter how much we get upset with him. And then our back line, Luke Shaw shouldn't be starting games for us anymore at this point. Bottom line, he shouldn't. So it wasn't just a bad day at the office for United. We just didn't play well. We just it didn't even feel to me like a Manchester derby because the gulf in class between Manchester City and United was just way too high. Enough of my rant. Ayo, we'll start with you from a United standpoint because I know Sam is going to go from a Man City standpoint. From a United standpoint, what went wrong again?
Sam, do you want to answer this question?
Well,
How
No,
how,
Ayo,
how do
I'll go with you.
Ayo, let's go with
I
you.
let you down gently, Mide? I just
I
don't
mean,
think
go
that
for it. Go
I
for
don't think
it. That's why we have the show. Go for it.
I don't think they're good enough. I think this is a haphazardly built squad, and every now and then you get to games where you can't just you just can't provide an approximate solution. You have to provide a full solution, or it doesn't work. This isn't 50-50 chance or best out of three. This is exact answer or it's incorrect. What we have in Man United is he has a lot of players. You might argue that he has a lot of talent, but there's just no way to fit the current roster into the formation that he's trying to implement to a level of excellence that wins you games consistently, and especially against teams like Manchester City. I watched the game. Like you mentioned, the press was excellent. I love some of the passing that was going on, but you started to see that as they approached, Man United approached the final third of Manchester City, they couldn't find a final action that created clear cut chances. And this happened repeatedly, till we saw that the few times that Manchester City were put in the same position, they got good chances and goals. And so the question now asks, what is happening for Man United? What's happening for Man City in that final third, in that decisive action phase that's not happening for Man United? And you really just have to look at who are the players that are receiving the ball in those scenarios. You put the ball into Dogu, Dogu makes something happen. You look on the other side. I'm sorry. No, who's the Man City kid? I keep mixing his name.
Oscar
Doku.
Bob,
Yeah, Doku.
Doku,
Sorry,
Doku. Okay.
Doku. You see how he opens the game up, but you put it. But you look at Man United's side. You see Dogu with the ball a lot. Mazurai with ball a lot. Diallo, surprisingly, with the ball a lot. Very rarely are you seeing Fernandez. Very rarely are you seeing Mbuemo, because he's trying to position himself to score. And when you just step back and you look at those three players, Diallo, Mazurawi, and Dorgu, that's not elite creativity. It's just not. It's barely subpar. And so what you're finding, which is something, as much as I was thinking about, I can remember a time. This was back then when Arsenal were making that transition. And do you remember Bellerin, the
Yes.
right back? Yeah. And a lot of times I'd get frustrated because we will arrive in the final third, we'll pass the ball to the central area, and then it will end up with Bellerin, and Bellerin just scoffs the opportunity. Because Bellerin had no business being in that position with the ball at that given time, because he just was not creative enough or had the technical ability to execute and create chances. And so what I think is Man United have created a system that platforms the wrong people, in offense. And they have to figure out a way how to be defensively solid, but create a system that platforms the right people in the right positions. You can't have Fernandez that deep. You can't have Umbuemo searching and trying to occupy central areas. You really need players that can create. And so that's all I saw. And so they went back blow for blow, and Man City had better tools, and they used those tools. Dorgo was phenomenal. Haaland he was world class. And he made defensively, he was world class. Covering of ground, tackling, interceptions, connecting play, and just putting the ball away. He was just world class. And Man United don't have the comparable talent to compete with that, and that's something that must be acknowledged by the leadership, because it's their fault. I really feel that they should have bought better wing backs, but that's a different thing. We can continue that conversation later. But I think it was just Man United platformed the wrong players in that final third, while Man City made sure they platformed the right players.
Sam, do you think, talking about platform of having the right players in the right formation and system, Sam, do you think Amarim picked the wrong players, or some of the wrong players in the system?
He doesn't have all the right players for what he's trying to do. Like, just let's just call it what it is. Luke Shaw is not. If you want to play back three, Luke Shaw is not reliable to play that kind of system. Again, I think what is killing United is the coach. I just said leadership. I get it. The coach can also change. These games are rough. These games are tough. Man City is not an easy place to go to, but you don't set up against Man City that's got Phil Foden, Erling Haaland. If you look at Man City, Guardiola is very smart, and I'll go back to that. You don't set up like that with your three freaking whatever it is that you're playing. Dogu is a ball carrier. I won't dismiss his effort in this United team. He's a ball carrier. He's got speed. He's got strength, but he's not creative enough. You always see him up front, and oftentimes you waste the ball. Whatever he's doing right now, I think that game would have made sense if he played 4-4-3.
Four
Honestly,
four
if
two.
so, 4-4-2. Thank you, or
Mm-hmm.
even 4-3-3 with some players. That game, you put Maguire. I'll put Maguire in that game. As crazy as it sounds, if he's not injured, I'll put Maguire in that game. Create a strong defense and let your midfielder control the game. Now, there's this conversation about Bruno Fernandes. Where should he be playing? I get all of that, but if you put Fernandes in the midfield and you have 4-3-3 in Bomo up front, Dalo up there, even Dagom Sesko might be okay in that game. But here's what he's doing. You leave your defenders open. You don't even have strong defense anyways. They are always running forward. Luke Shaw can't cover. He can't run past some players. You want Luke Shaw to run against Ireland. Here's what Man City did. Man City set up as I think it was 4-1, 4-1. Haaland
Yes.
was in front. Very deceptive. No, Haaland and Foden, they were almost always beside each other. So Rodri was in the midfield, but guess what? He overloaded the midfield. So when the ball comes in, guess what? See, United don't even have anything to. You don't have a strong player to tackle Haaland, anyways. But you have about three players. Is it Brandon Deere? What is that guy's name? It's coming against you. Everybody's coming against you. It's impossible for you to set up like that and win this game. These games are rough. Look at what was Burnley against Liverpool. Outstanding setup, outstanding plays from those guys. I can't take. As a matter of fact, if they won that game, I wouldn't complain at all. They were disciplined. They were defensive minded, but at the same time, they didn't sit back. That's how you want to set up against Man City. Make sure you have your four strong defender. When you get the ball, run. They should have a limit. It's time to start tracking back. That's it. That game could have just been a 1-0 if you have a strong defense. Or worst case scenario, 0-0. But you think Dogu is going to do the cooking? No, he can't cook. He can only carry the ball forward for you. Fernandes was so quiet in that game, in my own opinion. Um, I think Burma would have done fantastic if you have a. Is Mason Mount injured or what? Is he
Injured.
injured?
He is. Yeah.
There's just no creativity in that midfield. There's nobody else that can carry the ball outside of Dogu and whoever was there, Mazraoui as well. They just don't have the right player for what he's trying to do. One, and you don't do that kind of thing against Man City right now. Yeah, you've had success in the past, but it's not looking good for United. They have to change. They have to not think about winning, getting 3 points right now. They have to think about, can we get draws? How can we set up to get draws and possibly counter attack and get a win? It's just not looking good. It's not Onana's fault that they've sucked so far. We just blame Onana for some of the obvious mistakes. But there's a crack in the sea. There's a big crack everywhere. Midfield is terrible. Defense, yes, there's some good defenders. It's just not setting them up correctly. Attacking right now, a little questionable. But I think the attackers are still probably the best angle that Man United has right now. It's just not using them well. There's no reasonable midfielder to supply this to supply them these balls. It's pathetic. It is sad to see Man United like go go lose like that. Honestly, I really think a team that just got promoted with a coach that knows what he's doing would not get 3-0 out of that Man City. Honestly, the formation just keeps you way exposed. It drives me nuts. And he's just so adamant about whatever he's saying, like, I'm not gonna change. Who do you think you are? Like, for real, it's annoying, it's pathetic. So change something or they'll change you. Stop playing. Use what you have to get what you desire. It's not whatever you played. All these young coaches, what drives me nuts with all these young coaches is their own way. And if they found success with that, that's what they'll keep doing. You have to adapt. Senior coaches, they know how to change pretty fast. They asked Craig Radola the other day, it's like, do you change based on player and players that you have available? I can't remember how the question was put. Players you have available and the team you're going against. It was like, yes, of course. Like, you have to do both. You have to do both. It's not every game that you see Erling Haaland just wanting to go destroy up front. He's always in the box anyways. But it's not every game that you see him like that. Sometimes you have your Gundogan, the guy that doesn't play anymore now. You see him take a little bit of defensive minds in a
He's actually
defensive
being
position.
sold. That's why,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So anyway, I don't want to ramble. I don't like Amaran's game plan. He's going to cause Man United to sink and sink further. They are in a terrible position right now because one, he doesn't have all the players he needs. The ones that how he can use the ones he have right now, he's not using them well because of his stupid formation. I hate
And
to
I
sound
mean,
like that, but
I mean, because you can see the passion coming out of us. Even if of course, Sam isn't a Manchester United fan, but I don't
by
have
the way,
anything
I'll
else to
say it on
add.
here. I used to be a Man United fan. My brother and I, when
How?
we were younger, we were Man United. I do have a picture of me wearing Man United jersey
No way.
and scarf, by
You've
the way.
got to post that on
Yes, I have to
socials.
find it and
We
post
have
it.
to find that and post it on
Yes.
socials. Amigos would love to see that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
So
Amigos, like, share, and subscribe. But at the end of the day, the rumor I'm hearing is he has 3 to 4 games to save his job, and the hierarchy might back him now. Before, of course, this was way before the international break happened. But if he doesn't change things in 4 games, he's gone, and you cannot keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a and expect a different result. You have to change. You have to
Midday,
adapt.
midday.
Yes,
I think the hierarchy is mostly at fault.
it's the decision making again.
Mostly, in fact, the chief perpetrator of all of this is the hierarchy. I mean, why was Dan Ashford fired?
The rumor I heard was he was trying to bring in Southgate,
It wasn't
and
Southgate. He was just trying to bring in someone that's here, that's standard, because he understood that Man United, they are fragile. There's a huge chip of their shoulder that they're just fragile. They're fragile. This is a team that breaks very fast. It's surprising to me to watch, but they don't know how to reset. So I don't know if it's like a training thing, but they don't. If a sequence is not going their way or a period is not going their way, they don't know how to handle that. That like 10-15 minutes of like you're under pressure, your passing sequences are not working. How do you reset? Like they don't really have a strong like mental toughness, and that's I can see how that's broken down by all the social media, all the abuse. But honestly, you just wanted to bring someone that could just take the temperature down and incubate that team. Amorim is someone that just throws his players under the bus, sometimes even unsolicited. Like I was sharing the comment you said about Mino. Is like on one part I'm happy to be right, but when I thought about it, I was like, if can you imagine Arteta saying that about Waneri or Miles Lewis Skelly or Dalman? Never in a million years, because they're young kids. You gotta protect them, and like so he's not. I don't think he has emotional maturity, but they picked him over what more sensible people were asking for, and they fired them because of it. What was Ragnick talking about before he had to get bounced? Complete
open heart surgery.
surgery, and like no matter how much you push it, right, it still got to be done. And they keep deferring this with the hope that they're going to bring in this maverick that is going to do create some kind of magic that they don't have to fix the club. I just
So
buy
do you
one
think?
more.
So
Sorry,
do
I
you
just
think? So do you think what Alex Ferguson did in 1992 should be done again, where he literally brought in 7 youngsters and sold another 4 starting players and just restart?
let the past die. I don't even think Sir Alex Ferguson can't resurrect this. This is
No,
it's
no,
just
no. Like the same thing he did, where he brought in seven new young stars and
you
sold
can't bring
four.
To your
you
point,
can't
Mido,
bring youngsters into this.
you asked the same question. I think it was last season as well.
Mhm.
Mido, and I'm all for that. Honestly, I'm all for that. Start integrating some of these youngsters in the team. It goes back to your point, Ayo. You don't damage the confidence of players like Maino. For for what is what, I personally think Maino might be overrated. Personally, however, I think is one of the saviors that you guys have right now. Personally, when it comes to the midfield, that guy can do something. Of course, with some coaching, I don't like the inconsistency in his game. That's one of the reasons why I don't really. I think I don't rate him that much. But to your point, I mean, that you have to build with what you have. I started seeing that Yoro is very young. Is I like the way he plays. Dogo is young as well, but they are in the senior team and they are doing one or two things. So all you just got to do is, coach them well, bring other players to their side. Let's see what Mano will do now that we have Mbromo. Those long passes, I think they can do something. It's not that just go sell all these older play or buy older player or whatever. It's what you have is what you have to use. No more throwing people under the bus. No more quickly getting rid of coaches. From the United point of view, I won't say they fire Amarin, but there has to be some coaching done for the coach. Honestly, including the
Hmm.
assistant. Somebody needs to be able to talk. Maybe you're a coach, man, it's pathetic. But again, rebuild right now is going to be costly, not only in terms of money, but the position they are in. However, they are in a good position. They don't have a lot of games to play, but they only have to focus on Premiership, Premier League primarily. But you have to start building right now with what you have. You can't go to the market anymore until January. So it's left to him to change. If he sucks between now and January, he's going to suck for the rest of the season. I don't see who he's going to bring that is going to change again.
We have to dig ourselves out of it. Amigos, especially Manchester United amigos, stay together. We can. There's only so much we can do. We just have to support them through thick and thin. Only the only way is up at this point. Like, share, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about the formation, the player selections, the coach, the board, and their decisions. But let's move on. Liverpool, you were very lucky against Burnley. It was a lucky penalty that should not have happened. And sometimes I feel bad for players where things like that happen. It just happens and you have no control. And if you could rewind time and tell yourself not to put your hand close to the ball, you would do that. But that's what makes football amazing, amigos. That's what makes soccer amazing. Liverpool goes ahead to win away at Turf Moor 1-0 to Burnley. Sam, Liverpool again didn't play well. However, they found a way to win. Do you see them as having those ingredients again to win another title based on that performance?
Yeah, big credit to Burnley, and I really hate it for Haliber, the player. I mean, I look at the game. I didn't see the game live, and I just caught clips here and there. I'm in the middle of finishing the game, but man, big credit to Burnley, man. They came in, they just didn't sit at the back. They like every chance they get, they also push forward. Yes, you should say Liverpool got lucky again. Don't just say Liverpool got lucky again. But some days the luck is gonna run out. I don't like the way we're playing. Unlike the team we just talked about, one thing that you have is watching that game. You know Liverpool is gonna find a way somehow. They start confidence. This that, and then again it goes back to player quality, right? Right.
And
You have
mentality as well.
mentality. So to answer your question, the luck is gonna run out one day, and it might be at Anfield. That one team might just come, probably one of the newly promoted team. They will hold the line pretty well. It's going to be impossible to break through. But our game plan just needs to improve, man. Our game plan needs to improve. I don't know what we can improve in that game. Um, if Burnley had one, one or two chances yesterday, or whenever the game was played, they can score us on the counter. I don't know what we can improve, to be honest. I think Cody Gakpo's position is what I'm starting to look at. From that left side, he gets the ball, he cut in and shoots. That is becoming too predictable. Uh, and I'm also starting to think Florian Wirtz might we might be putting too much on his shoulder right now. To me, I think the midfield can circulate the ball a little bit more. Change the game. The change of the game plan or changing game plan would have been successful if we take Florian Wirtz out and just integrate a couple more players in the midfield. I don't know who that's gonna be. Gravenberg was already on the pitch. McAllister was sub out. Um, what was his name? Soboslai was already in the game. I just feel like that midfield needed some control, and that's the game that I really wish we have players like Trent. And I hate that to bring that back in, but there's something that Trent would do for you when the midfield is not cooking, when the defensive line is tight. You usually retreat. It comes in with our cross or low passes that we find our way. But overall, I'm not gonna take away from the credits that Burnley deserves. And I will say it as a Liverpool fan, we got lucky again.
Ayo, does Liverpool miss Harvey Elliott in that midfield?
Yeah. He wasn't consequential last season. I don't think he would have been consequential this season. They just changed a lot. It's very hard to change a lot and do it in such a quick period of time. What is it? How many new players did they get in the offense? Words,
For
Ekitike. I guess Isak is coming in now.
Frimpong.
Yeah, it's they got to build that chemistry. And one thing can say is getting results while still being a work in progress, and that for me is a sign of excellence because I would say that's a very similar thing that Arsenal have been trying to do. We're trying to figure out a new way of playing with the different set of players to mix results. One loss so far, but that was the only goal we've conceded this season, which harkens back to what we already could do well, defend. So Liverpool going back to what they really could do well, score goals or have clutch moments. But yeah, the way I see it is, the Liverpool we see next week will be better than the Liverpool we saw last week. I can see that progress growing. Will it coalesce into a championship winning form? We don't know that yet. It's too early to tell. But I'm not necessarily thinking that they're going to struggle. I think they're going to keep getting good points, and they're going to get those points in more dominant fashion as the season goes along.
Interesting. They're very lucky. I envy Liverpool right now, but they are a well-run club. Their board makes very good decisions, very astute decisions, and I can only applaud them from afar. And as a Man United fan, lick our wounds because they have a board that makes the right decisions season after season. And them buying all of those players this season isn't a fluke. They've taken their time to not buy random players, but truly use what they have, brought in the right coach to continue what Jurgen Klopp has done, and move them to the echelons of champions material from a team perspective. I hope it lasts for them. I don't. I hope it lasts for them as a United fan. But when looking outside of my red tinted glasses, when you see things run well, you should applaud the leadership over that. That's what I would say. Speaking about leadership, Arsenal, another week, another win, 3 points, beating Nottingham Forest 3-0, and playing the football that not only shows how impressive they are with execution in the final third, but also being resilient in defending in such a way that none of them didn't have anything to do. They just were nullified really. And all of the players that made things happen for Nottingham Forest, they were shut down even before they got the ball. And it was a combination of man marking and a lot of player awareness and abilities that allowed Arsenal to win that game again, showing how mature they've improved over the past 3 or 4 seasons. I'll start with you. What did you see in that game? Like what one or two things did you see in that game that makes you see the maturity that Arsenal has grown?
I mean, if, in terms of maturity, I would say just how they controlled Nottingham Forest. We forget that except for a fluke game, they would be in the Champions League. Like these that's the form they were at last season, and we've thrashed them every time they've come to our to what's it called to our stadium.
Emirates.
I think we've played 5 games. They've played 5 games at our place. They've scored 2 goals and we've scored 18.
That answers the question.
Yeah, and so we've found a way to control teams, especially teams that like to hit you on a break, which is something that I didn't think that like a team that presses as high as Arsenal should automatically struggle with. But we have found a way of just managing transitions in such a way that we nullify teams that rely on that structure, and that's why Nottingham could not really do anything to us. Other than that, I think it was just a story of just astute recruitment. My standout players for that game were Mosquera. That's the centre back that replaced Saliba. I have not seen a player that can marry what's it called, physical prowess, speed, and pace with just technically sound technical foundations, and we've got that player for 13 million. I don't understand how Berta did that, but I think we have found a player so much so that once Saliba is fit again, it's not guaranteed that he walks back into that starting lineup. So that tells you how good Mosquera is. And another player, a player that I was on the fence about, was Madueke. And
I knew he was going to do well. I always knew he was going to do well in Arsenal.
I was on the fence with him because I didn't see him as a very intelligent player. I saw him as someone who was all physical attributes, gone to the meadow, like a headless chicken, kind of. A Martinelli-esque. No offense
Even
to
though he
Martinelli.
scored your goal today.
I know. I know.
It's obviously.
But Madueke, what I saw was not just the ability to beat his wing back, this is repeatedly, but just intelligent decision making. If other Arsenal players were on their game, he would have had 2 or 3 assists that game. Such was the quality of his anticipation, his movement, and his passing. Like there was a time he got the ball, he stole the play. Gyökeres went around him, and then he set it up very perfectly for him to hit a shot that hit the crossbar. Like there were things that he was doing in how he utilized his ability that just screamed, this is a really intelligent player that makes it so that when he's on the pitch, we don't miss Saka too much. And so we were without Saka, without Kai. Declan Rice was on the bench. Odegaard was injured and off between 18 minutes. Saliba was not on the pitch, and nothing happened. It was just service as usual. And this is not something we could have said about Arsenal last season, and it's why I feel extremely confident that we will deliver results. Is that Arteta now has a robust squad and a robust squad where he has the people on the bench to change the game if something is not working, as we saw in the Atletico game.
No, it was very impressive. And it seems to me now that Arsenal has the ability to change gears whenever they want to based on who they're playing. And they have a bench that can change a game. And when you have that, it's only going to improve your percentage of winning more games than you did in the past. and it allows you to change style of play and execution so easily based on what the opposition is trying to do. I see why now they bought all of those players they bought to be able to be more dynamic as a team. Same thing Liverpool did, same thing Man City did, same thing Chelsea did, same thing Tottenham did as well, surprisingly. At the end of the day, Arsenal is on the verge of doing something big. I am curious to see what that would be. But the way they're playing, if they can stay consistent, they will get some type of silverware this season. The question is, when we're in the trenches of the winter and the games are coming thick and fast, who will still be standing and not limping? And that will determine how the season goes. So players like Trossard and Eze that may not start games, and more Martinelli, there's still room for you to make a difference in that Arsenal team, like how Trossard and Martinelli did today in the second half in the Champions League against Atletico Bilbao. They came in, they had an instruction. It looked to me, based on their execution and their performance, Arteta told them to go direct and take on players. That's what he did because the combination wasn't working because Bilbao were reading the game and marking out players. He just told them to take them 1v1, and that was what opened up the game. And then the fear came over the Atletico Madrid defense. And as a coach, I saw it within the first 10 seconds, and I knew Arsenal was going to win this game. So the ability to be able to have that environment where you can bring in players with instructions to and execute it, and then having a coach that comes up and a backroom staff that can come up with that. Manchester United, we're lacking that right now. We are. I don't know what else we can do other than the players on the field. There's nothing else physically or tactically that's tangible enough for us to see other than just bringing like for like at this point. Yeah. Amigos, like, share, and subscribe. You've heard a lot from us today. We are excited to bring you more content. We will be bringing you our Game 5 preview shortly. Please stick around, let us know, and like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you all soon.
All right, let's proceed.
All right, amigos, we're back. Thank you so much for staying with us for that break. We're about to bring you Game 5 predictions for this season's Premier League. The international break is over for now. It will be back. Which, by the way, amigos, if you haven't heard, there was a news release today that FIFA has changed the schedule for international games to make it about 2 to 3 weeks straight, where we don't have three different breaks from an international break standpoint starting next year. It would only be two. One of them will be a longer version which will be about 5 or 6 games after the Premier League starts. So
Mm.
we're going to have a lot more games, even though there's going to be a longer international period. It's a good thing because you don't have that stop start, stop start, stop start situation. So it's a win-win for the footballing world. Very excited about that. Ayo, before we start on the predictions, what do you think about that decision from FIFA?
Um, Whatever floats the boat. I can. It probably makes a lot of the coaches happy. I don't know. I mean, Arteta mentioned that they only had one training session before the Nottingham Forest game. It just introduces a lot of risk into some of these games, and so the less disruption that's happening, the greater sense of stability the teams can enjoy. And so, in terms of that, just allowing for that, and just allowing for players to be able to compartmentalize their club career and their international career just by just keeping it in a zone, I think is also healthy as well. Yeah.
I agree. Sam, what do you think about that decision?
Yeah, I think I like it one because it minimizes all this break. Even as a club fan, you don't like those interruptions. And also from the traveling point of view for the players, it's just you travel this time, you travel that time. Why don't we just travel and let the international team train, play, and you know that it's like a little competition, or well, is it competition that I would call it now? Yeah, little competition and you get back into the mode of things.
Mm.
I think it's gonna help the clubs more for sure. However, I think it's gonna be of great benefit to the international team as well because it will minimize the cost of traveling. A coach have a lengthy time to work with players on what they can improve on and change their formation or whatever. During that 3 weeks. Yeah.
No, I agree. It's a very exciting news, and kudos to FIFA. And I hope more of those good decisions come to play. Speaking about good decisions, welcome, amigos, to the Game 5 predictions. Of course, we're going to start with our Merseyside derby. Liverpool is playing Everton on Sunday or Saturday. That's the first game to start off the weekend. What a game it is. Everton is not the same Everton you saw last season. They are actually very compact. They pass the ball well. They have some very good players, Grealish being one of them. He has set the Premier League on fire just on loan from Man City. I hope he stays there and doesn't go back to Man City. Personally, just players like Jusby Hall and Beto. I mean, some people might have a face to them. These people here might have a face to them. Like, who are those? But you should watch them play, amigos. They're actually very impressive. Now, I don't know if that's a David Moyes effect or just the actual player quality, but Everton is one of those teams that they can be at least top 10. They can be at least top 10. Ayo, we'll start with you. Merseyside Derby. Does Everton have any hope based on the business they've done, their style of play changing to some extent? Do you think they have any hope against the Liverpool team?
I mean, there's always a hope, give or take. Football is funny like that. It always surprises you. But just on the side of things, I think Liverpool will still beat them. I say it as either
Um,
2-1. Sorry?
2-1, 2-1
2
game.
1. Yeah. But I mean, it just strikes me as something like, they'll win, but like via baptism of fire. Like that's all it is. Yeah. but like, it's like I think I see a replay of the Newcastle game where it's just torture from start to finish, but they still find a way. That's how I see that one. Yeah.
Wouldn't be,
Everything,
wouldn't be, go ahead,
sorry,
go ahead.
everything was fine, but I don't think they're showing anything that's like Liverpool are going to be like surprised. Personally, yeah.
It would be interesting just for Everton to. Of course, I'm going to be rooting for Everton in that game. Obviously, amigos, I'm going to be rooting for Everton for that game. But Sam, from your perspective, do you have any anxiety, no matter how small it might be, for this game? And what are your predictions?
I've almost had a heart attack during each of the games that we've had this season. So I hope I don't have an actual heart attack on this one. But like I said, Liverpool's gonna find a way to win this one as well. And I see Everton scoring us first, then the old madness just start and we just beat them and destroy them. To be fair to Everton, they've had a good run they've had a good start this season. However, I think the only real challenge that they've had or contender that they've gone against is Aston Villa. They've got good results. They've won two, lost one, and draw one. But, they will do the same thing. Always want a commitment forward. But I think they will score us first and we just come back and destroy them.
How many goals do you think?
It's probably going to be 2-1 as well. 2-1.
I think it's a 1-0 to Everton.
Okay.
I really think it's a 1-0 to Everton. I don't know why. And remember, you're not playing at Goodison Park anymore.
I know.
It's a whole different stadium now.
This is at Anfield. They're coming to my home.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
that
okay.
if we go in a way, I would probably take your result based on how we're playing right now.
Right.
However, I
Mm-hmm.
think Isak is going to be in that game. He's probably
Mm-hmm.
going to get 40, 50 minutes. And that would be the point that we just he's got to prove a point. I hope he wants to prove a point, and I think going against Everton is going to be it's going to be the beginning of his Liverpool's career,
Interesting.
at least from the Premier League point of view.
Interesting. Amigos, like, share, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about your predictions of that Merseyside derby game. Do you think Liverpool will just roll Everton over? Or do you think Everton might pull some punches on a derby day as the Merseyside derby? It doesn't stop there, amigos. It's going to be a very interesting weekend. United is playing Chelsea at home at Old Trafford. And that's not just the only thing. Arsenal is playing Man City on Sunday to wrap up the weekend from a Premier League fixture standpoint. We'll wrap up with Man City and Arsenal. Let's stick with United and Chelsea. I don't even know. I don't even know what team he's going to pick.
It's
Right?
okay. Let's just say there's a chance all of our teams will.
That might be so
Commiseration Sunday.
already. Already, no. It's as a United fan, I have to support my team, no matter how bad we are, no matter the bad decisions we might make. It's Chelsea. You don't lose to Chelsea. You play your best against Chelsea. You don't give them the ball. You don't let them breathe on the ball. And when you get your chance, you should be clinical. This is the game that I'll start to wonder if Sesko is ready to step up, right? This is the time for you to step up. If you're going to be selected as the Manchester United striker, this is your chance to step up. Amarim, please play Bruno as a 10 on the left, please, and play Ugarte and Menu in midfield, and just see what happens, right? And if it doesn't work out, then you can sub them out. You can move the players around, but do something different. Overload the box. Do something different. It's not that difficult. You watch game footage the whole week. You have your staff meeting, then you have your staff and player meeting to review tactics, and you actually go on the field and you try to replicate the tactics, and then you do it again for another 2 days. I can literally talk about the schedule as a coach. Just do something different. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. However, I can see Chelsea beating us 2-1, and I can see us beating Chelsea 2-1. We'll see what happens. Sam, is this a game that Chelsea is going to flex their muscles? And based on the transfer window they've had, is Garnacho going to score against us? I mean,
Ooh,
this
that's
can go
true.
left field so quickly.
Nah, I think. Excuse me. I mean, Chelsea don't have their gears on yet. Although they had a great transfer window, they still looking at just like Liverpool as well. They need a lot of gelling uh, to do. And I actually want to pitch. I'm looking towards United win on this one. That 1-0, probably a Bruno Fernandes penalty on this game. Here's why. I have more. This might sound weird. I know what United is going to set up with or set up as. Let's just leave it as that. In as much that you wish that your coach changes things, but Chelsea, I don't know what they're gonna do. Um, they have all these players, but I don't know what they're gonna do. And even whatever is set up as, I still have question about Chelsea. The only people that I know for sure will bring in the A game will be Cucurella, Caicedo, and what's this England number 10 now? The new number 10 in Chelsea. How will I forget?
Cole Palmer?
For Cole
Oh,
Palmer. Um, the others, right now they are unpredictable for me. So we'll see what happens. But I'm leaning towards Man United 1-0 on this.
Interesting. Sam, do you think United will change their tactics against Chelsea, or are we going to just face the same thing?
At this point, it's probably gonna be the same thing. Um,
it's not the game to change. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's probably gonna be the same thing, but I think Maguire is gonna come in. I think he's gonna come in, and yeah, Kobe Mano might get a sub again, but I don't see him changing things, honestly. If he didn't change against City, I don't see him changing against Chelsea. It's
Here
like
and here,
his job is on the line
r-
fully.
right, and here's what I think, and why I feel like giving him 5 games makes sense. We always knew the first 5 games this season were going to be very difficult, right, based on the fixtures that we had. And the thought process was you beat Burnley, which you did, Arsenal, it's a one off, whatever happens, happens. Man City, the same thing. That hasn't played out. Some of the other games we've played, it's like you should be winning those games, but you draw one of them. Now you have another 5 coming up. And those 5, you should be getting results based on them. Fulham, you should have won, but then mistakes happen, you draw the game. Then you have, and then after the Carabao Cup. It's one of those things where giving him another 5 games would make sense, but as a coach, you have to do something different. You just have to, or else you will be out of the job. I'm hearing rumors about Benfica trying to get him at some point, and they're looking to wait for him because they released Bruno Lage today, losing to Karabag from a 2-0 advantage to a 3-2. A Karabakh team that actually played well in the second half. I actually watched that game, and they beat Celtic to actually get to the Champions League. It was a little embarrassing for him. I felt sorry for him, but he lost his job today. No one should ever lose their job over that unless you're just not good at what you do. They were actually winning, but the wheels just fell off. From a United standpoint, it seems to me that we're just wobbling right now, and we need to start picking players in the right positions. We need to start playing well as a team, and we need to start putting the ball in the back of the net. Amigos, like and subscribe. So, those are your thoughts about that Manchester United Chelsea game. Final game for the week: Man City versus Arsenal. This is the one, amigos. I cannot wait to hear Amigo Sam and Ayo's thoughts on this one. Ayo, we'll start with you, of course, from a national standpoint. What are the 2 things, and I'm going to ask you the same thing, Sam. What 2 things should Ateta do to get one over his close friend and former coach?
Well, Man City have showed themselves to be very weak in transition, and so if you want to beat them, you have to maximize how you exploit it and make sure that you have the quality on the pitch to finish those actions. I think we have some of the players that will put that ball in the back of the net. The question now is if we can create those transitional moments. Honestly, if this was a full squad, I would be very confident that we're going to trash them. If I could count on Saka, Kai, Odegaard, and Saliba being fit, like just bring in our actual tier one team to manage that game, and I think would beat them so resoundingly that it would be funny, kind of like how Tottenham did with a 2-0. I'm not talking about like a 5-1 like season, but like a 2-0, like 3-0 type game. But now I'm not so sure. So, they're coming to our place. I think there is some security there. And so I think all he has to do is just play the way we do. We smother them, and then we hurt them on transition. I think this is a game for Madueke. This is a game for Martinelli, and this is definitely a game for Eze and Gyökeres. I would, if Odegaard is not fit, I would actually like to see Eze occupy central areas, and then just have Zubimendi and Rice quarterback that. Those 4 will be expected to work as an independent unit with the other team, with other members of the team to provide the structure and security. And if that happens, I think we'll get a good result. But however, I'll be more confident if like at least Saka was able to play. I'd be a lot more confident. Yeah, so I see the game going competitive, but I actually see us beating them 2-0. Actually, yeah.
Hmm,
Yeah,
interesting. Wow, wow.
yeah.
It's very bold in transition. Let us know, Sam. From a Man City standpoint, what 2 things do you think Man City needs to do to get one over Arsenal?
Absolutely. I think play the same way you play against United. I think maybe in this case, have Doku, which he did it anyway. Let him stay forward more. Get it more in the box. Um, play forwarding as well. And as a matter of fact, I would start the with the Oscar Bob or whatever that young player is. I would start him and bring in Foden as a sub. So that way, when Arsenal is all, you know, tired, they made their substitution, which at this point is going to be Martinelli coming in. You can bring Foden, and that's going to hurt Arsenal. Uh, However, I'm leaning towards Arsenal winning this game. Unlike Ayo, I would be more confident if only Saliba is back. Right now, again, I'm not a big fan of Madueke, but I like what he's doing at Arsenal. I think he's well coached. The only problem I have with Madueke, even at Chelsea, was his end products. He can do all of this dribbling, all of these things, all this hustling, and he just wastes the ball like Martinelli. So, with the way Arsenal is set up now, Odegaard being out, it's not a big concern for me. Saka would have been nice for sure, but I think Madueke is doing an excellent job. Once Gyökeres find his foot in the league and find his proper positioning, I think Eze, Gyökeres, Saka slash Madueke is gonna cook the league. I really think Arsenal is up to something once the squad is back.
Ayo, do you think playing at Emirates Stadium has any advantage for Arsenal?
Yes, I mean they're more familiar. They don't have to fight the 12th man, which is a crowd. So I think it keeps things in a much more controlled version. Honestly, the only reason why I really wanted Saka is that Saka has end product up the wazoo, like goals and assists. Like as for, I mean, probably compared, the only person I say that's above him in the Premier League is Mo Salah. But like that kind of end product where it's like it's not just flashy tricks, it's just decisive action. And so whenever I see the like Odegaard's not there, Eze and Gyökeres are not quite ready, I'd want at least one person in that like attacking lineup that's like up to speed. And that's kind of why I call for him. Like Saliba, obviously, will provide a lot of security, especially if when you're trying to manage
Alan.
Haaland, because whenever no Haaland specifically, because whenever we play them, Saliba handles Haaland and Gabby cleans up, and so not having Saliba might create a few challenges. Yeah, but yeah, it's difficult to predict. I'd like to say like obviously off the back of last week, you'd be like Man City are unstoppable, but they've been cut through so many times this season by other teams that I believe that Arsenal are of the requisite quality to do that to them as well.
No, it's going to be a fascinating game, amigos. Like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts about those predictions for Game 5. Thank you all so much for your time. We have, of course, a lot of content coming at you. Some of them might be therapeutic, some of them might be banter, some of them might be just absolute rants, but get excited. We are happy to bring you more content. Thank you all so much for your time. And as always, stay positive. Amigos, thank you so much as well for the Game 4 review. It's one of those where, again, United, same story. Arsenal and Liverpool are just doing so well. We'll see how far this goes. But like, share, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. And as always, amigos, we'll see you all soon in the next content. Stay positive. Thanks, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Bye, guys.